The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
Race number 3 of the Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series heads to the now defunct Auto Club Speedway. What was meant to turn into a short track now sits as a dilapidated piece of pavement amongst a bunch of warehouses in Fontana, California. Today we'll relive the beauty and the fun of the 2-mile D-shaped oval for 85 laps worth of action. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage, again, the Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series for 85 laps around the 2-mile speedway. And for anyone that can do math, that's 170 miles. We are going to be racing in the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170, brought to you by Sean Bradley. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck to give you all the calls. And, of course, Brad to help me out with the color commentary here today. Brad, it's been a week off. Feels like it's been more than that, but we had a week off for Labor Day, leaving Daytona, and now heading to another fun racetrack here in Fontana.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm glad it's been a good week off for you, because I definitely didn't get any time off with plenty of other things going on in my commentary world. So I'm glad you had some time off, Corey. You definitely deserve it, with some hard work that you do behind the scenes that I'm not going to share anything of, but I know about it, so I appreciate it. Here's a fun fact for you. I'm going to start this off with fun facts. When you look up Auto Club Speedway on Google, what do you think it says?
I genuinely don't know where you're going with this, so I don't know.
Temporarily closed is the top banner that pops up.
Temporarily
closed.
Yes. Because we all know that they're actually going to build it, but that's a podcast topic for which eventually will come to fruition.
Maybe. Hopefully. I'm ready for it. Anyways.
The foundation hasn't been put in the ground, but the idea has been cemented. Boo! Emmerich bringing back out the ice cream car. They don't have a truck series.
Wrong series.
Yeah, that's the LOL Truck Series. That's on Mondays. I race with them from time to time, but qualifying is underway right now. Let's take a gander, not outdoors, but let's take a gander at where the pylon sits right now. McClendon, top of the board. Jeremy Brown, Brad Kress, Chad Bear, and Kyle Gresh. No nickname. Someone did their job on the back end. Kudos to them. So 2 minutes left, and again, Auto Club Speedway, a track that kind of is multi-groove, Brad. It kind of depends on the build and on the weather. Sometimes they're ripping right on the bottom. Sometimes they will be ripping right on the fence. With this next-gen car, I also expect some drafting to come into play, too.
Yeah, I got to hang out through practice and talk to a couple of drivers and kind of get a feel for how the setup runs. And I'll tell you, it's very true to the setup notes and kind of the pre-run notes that Steve McClendon put in talking about the setup. First couple laps, the car is going to be very loose, and as the tire temps come up, the grip level comes up, and then the car kind of stabilizes out. I think middle and high line are going to be the preferred lines through the race because tire management is probably going to come into play here around this speedway as we go along the race. Track temp 114 isn't bad. It will definitely just be one of those that as this race goes along, I think it's going to feed a little bit into that tire preservation, making it to the end, that all of these drivers are going to be playing that game.
And of course, our Auto Club Speedway, a sister track to the Michigan Speedway, built in 1997. Had about one race a year till about 04 it was, because that was the year they took the Southern 500 away in very controversial style. Ran about 2 races till about 2010, and then went back to a 1 race until its closure. Of course, they shut down for COVID 2020, came back for 2 more years in 2024. That's when they ran, that's 2023 rather, that's when we started running the LA Coliseum. But either way, we want to give another shout out to Sean Bradley, the number 77. He did help sponsor today's race, the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170. But that seems to be the end of qualifying. So we, in just a matter of a couple seconds, going to head down trackside, give you that PTR TV starting lineup here from Fontana. Oh, they got me, Brad. I counted it down perfectly. Then they gave me 5 extra seconds. Awkward time to kill, but now it's game time. Let's go.
It was the closest we could get, but here we go. Qualifying on pole. Steve McClendon from Temple, Georgia, the defending champion, up in front. Jeremy Brown from Appomattox, Virginia, in second place. Moving on P3, it is Brad Kress in the number 9 and Chad Bear. Can he bear it all from 4th place? Only one way to find out. Kyle Gretsch, the Waltrip, in P5 with Keaton Crothers, the Canadian, in P6. Sean Bradley, 7th. Matt Harmon finds 8th place here today. P9, Zach Nerney and Mark Jarrell in 10th.
11th place finds Matthew Epting. Why he has an empty beer case on his head, I don't know. Curtis Mitchell going to be in the 12th spot. 13th finds Dominic Zanobi. Yes, I got your picture in there. I know it took time. 14 is the Wooster. What does he got? Cool Ranch Doritos. I prefer regular myself. 15th is Keith Handlin. And the Popeyes Mobile. Fast Chicken of Ben Harcum from the 16th spot. Jeff Slaughter still can't find his face in 17th. And Michael Hopkins going to be twisting himself from the 18th spot. That sounded really bad. John Creedler in 19th, and then Josh Corner. He has 4 corners here, and he'll start them from the 20th spot.
P21 is going to be the Bland Red Car, Ward Fisher and William Emmert bringing the ice cream into P22. P23, Donald Ristow, and then Dylan Freeman. Can he free his way from 24th? One way to find out. Daniel Williams in the Alani car, P25, and Waffle House's Alex Squire will be in P26. Derek Catt, he's going to be meowing from 27th, and Tyler Ruielas will be taking off from 28th. 29th is Corny Brian Cooper from the wonderful Corn-Fed Fatty Racing, and Jason Benson, 30th place here on the night.
Nearly a full grid here. We got Ty Bass. That'll be interesting watching him come from 31st spot, with Kyle Dewey in the, what is that, Avid Sphere Camaro there in 32nd. 33rd finds Michael Seaborn. Nicholas Deal, the Coca-Cola ride, from 34th. 35th, Vince Mitchell, the Crispy Kyle Busch 2015 car. He shouldn't have won that championship. 36th is Matthew Alaka. Final on the grid, we got Adam Shaw, who didn't take to the grid, but Jacob Bettis did. He is going to be shotgun on the field.
Race details here for today. 85 laps with the stage at lap 33. Sets of tires, 1 backup car hiding there in the garage, and fixed setups with 55% fuel. Should make an interesting run here to kind of see how things go. I don't know the fuel run off the top of my head.
Neither do I.
So
Steve didn't message me.
Yeah, we'll see how things play out. Someone didn't set nicknames, but they also didn't give us the fuel load. So there we go. We'll play it by ear just like the rest of you. Let's see how this goes. I think this is going to be a fun race, though.
And as I say, you win some, you lose some. So I'll take proper names and figure out the rest the hard way. But if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say probably right around 24, 23 laps. But I'm frequently wrong, and I expect to be once again. But what I'm not wrong about is the fact that this race is about to get underway. The C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170 Triple Bypass Nickel Oil's Pros Cup Series. Let's go racing from the defunct Auto Club Speedway in the restart zone. And tonight's race is a green, green, green.
Very good job getting up to speed from everyone here. As Jeremy Brown out on the outside, Steve McClendon there to the inside, very high on the line there. That was Chad Bear, I believe, running the wall very early as we go. Steve McClendon off to a great start. Everybody clearing turn 2 here cleanly, and everybody going to try to jiggle it into a line where they can, going into 3, and we all hold on, and it is McClendon, the pole sitter, who will run it out here and lead the first lap.
3 and 4 at Auto Club. That's where you see them all start to flail around using all about 5 lanes of real estate that this speedway provides. And McClendon will start out and get lap number 1 led. You can see the gaggle behind. And then let's see what happens in turn number 1. We're on the fresh tires, but no, I was going to say, is McClendon going to stick to the white line? He's not. Jeremy Brown will. He'll try to get that clean air on the nose of that car using the shorter distance, but what the shorter distance gives you is a worse corner exit. Allows McClendon to get a little bit of distance.
You can see McClendon on the backstretch when he exits there, dropping about middle of the backstretch, not really doing anything too crazy, defending early on, but is still a little defensive. 809 Keaton Crothers here as we ride on board with our race sponsor, Sean Bradley. Look at this as he goes through. He is right on the back bumper of Crothers, trying to just chase him low, chase him high, and Crothers having to defend. And the interesting part to me is seeing through the corners how they're fanning out. Everybody's picking a different line. It's kind of opening things up. I mean, you've got 4 cars in a row. All 4 of them go to a different line here as they run through, but McClendon ripping the high line there through 1 and 2 as we go, and everybody making their way around out of turn 2.
Yep, and that just is very, very paramount. As you can see, the actual for the first time, I think, in PTR TV's era of triple bypass, he's not driving a Simpsons-oriented vehicle there, having the race sponsor on that 77. That'll take a little bit of getting used to, but sweet ride nonetheless. Kyle Gresh, someone who did very well and always does very well, but has a little bit of work to do. Currently in 7th, trying to get to the outside, but Crothers going to try to go to the inside, and then going a little bit further up, we have McClendon being battled by Crest. That inside lane not working. Crest makes like 2 trailer park girls and passes him around the outside.
Great pass there from him as he goes through, continues along, and is going to try to run away here. Already pulling out 4/10 of a second. Down the inside goes Chad Bear, and I think trying to follow him through is Jeremy Brown, trying to work that slightly lower line here. We'll see how McClendon does on the exit of 4s. We're 3 wide. Chad Bear's going to go all the way up, give the big block to Sean Bradley. What does Sean Bradley do in response? A little tap of the rear bumper there, a little bump draft, if you will, as he goes through. Let's go into 1 and 2, see how they handle it, and Chad Bear is going to hold that line there, and Sean Bradley loses a little bit of momentum, but Brad Kress not as far away as he was.
Now I do know, and we see it quite often here in the iRacing service, where running that outside lane will be faster, but a lot of times it is worse on those Goodyear Eagles. Now, of course, with the shorter fuel load, they don't have to drive as far on the tires, but I will be interested to see if some of those drivers who are ripping the top will lose a little bit of that muster later into the run. But we're 5 laps in, Crest up by 3/10 of a second. Worth noting here today, Brad, the boss man, Al Corey, he had some real life stuff to do, playing some hockey, playing some ice hockey, and not able to attend here today. So, but we still have to find a way to roast him nonetheless, and that opportunity will come up later, I'm sure.
I think he's going to do good as the Uncrustable car is spinning in the background, and, well, that's going to be
Zanobi.
a smash sandwich.
Panthers.
No, that was the Panthers.
Yeah,
okay.
They won the Stanley Cup, and they're going to dent it already. No, I just got his picture put in the overlays, and now he wants to crash out of the race as quickly as possible. Hospital wobble off the corner. Phenomenal bit of driving by everybody else for that to be a solo car incident. That could have been significantly worse.
That definitely could have been. Thankfully, everyone gets through, goes through, but caution number 1 on the night, and I said 3 cautions, including the stage. I saw a prediction in YouTube chat of 5 cautions, including the stage. Corey Silva, caution prediction, including the stage. Go.
No. I'm going to say, so this is 1. We're guaranteed 2. I'm going to say 4. I think 4. And yes, sunk track there in our YouTube chat. That's a cliche line here on PTR TV. I came up with that line, I think, in 2021, and it went under the radar for a long time. But finally, I think, Brad, when you came around here, Andre never really reacted to it, but you were the first one that picked it up and ran with it here. That Trailer Park Girls. That if we ever come out with merch, that's going to be on our first t-shirt. But let's see if anybody comes in the pits. I presume not for tires, because they only have 3 sets to avail, and this is a little early, but putting a little bit of virtual Sunoco race fuel in surely won't hurt.
Well, I have gotten some behind-the-scenes info here from our wonderful friend here at PTR TV, and the answer that I have is 26 laps for fuel. So this will get them to the stage comfortably. It should, in theory, get them to the stage comfortably. Now, I've been wrong before, so I'm not going to guarantee it, but all of my indications say this is stage, and I see like 4 cars backing up that clearly forgot how to do pit practice during their opening practice today. And yeah, that is not ideal. That is not how you do a pit stop for fuel, and that humbles you down the leaderboard.
Now let's take a look here on our pit timer here, and we'll see who pit and what lap, what timing they did. So the top 3 stayed out, and as forecasted, everybody did choose just fuel only, about 5 seconds. We'll have to take a look at the tire wear and see how these top 3 do fare, Brad. I mean, it's only 7 laps. Auto Club, again, it hasn't been repaved. Well, since its initial construction in 1997, it was built on iRacing around 2013-ish. So that's kind of the bumps in the level that we're working with here. But it still is an abrasive track, so we'll be interested to see if that 7 laps of green flag detriments the top 3 at all.
I don't think it will, to be honest. I think it'll take a little bit more. Now, granted, tire wear is tire wear, and there is still a little bit of a something that will be there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really affect things as it goes. And again, you know, everybody else pitting in, I don't see anyone who took tires. Maybe Dylan Freeman in the number 31 all the way back in P28. I think that might be the only car that has changed out a set of tires, if I have to guess. And looking through at everyone else, several drivers who had to back up in their pit stops.
I would infer that, Brad. I'd be on point with it. Now, I would be very nervous of that, because again, if we, you know, you consider pitting at lap 31, 32 for the stage, and then you'll need presumably 55. I mean, it's going to be right on the border whether it'll be a 2-stopper or not. We don't have the exact fuel numbers here with the 55% fuel load, but just doing some vague math, I think they might have to do a 2-stopper, which that may make only having 2 sets of tires a little bit nerve-wracking, but we'll see how all that plays out here. But we're on 1 to green, and Ty Bass, our leader here, did choose the outside lane. Lane choice was implemented here in the Cup Series for Season 9, so he will utilize that upon this restart.
I think the outside lane is a good decision here, as the outside line has seemed to be a really good run here in the race. So I think if you are Ty Bass, you're taking that into consideration, and that's a great move to go here. We'll see what happens as pace car pulls off, coming through turn 4, not P4. Man, you can tell it's a Sunday night. Let's see what happens here at Auto Club as we get going here. Ty Bass, the control car, and can Derek Cat meow his way forward? We'll find out here as we are going to go back racing through the restart zone, and we are green, like 10 of 85 here for the CVUE 170. Oh, Tyler Ruielas.
No bueno.
How did that happen? Did he wheel spin on the start?
It wouldn't be something of a surprise, again, given the age of the pavement here. Oh, we're still wrecking. Is that an accident, or is that McClendon saying, "You dumb person for ruining my race"? You know McClendon better than I do, so.
I don't don't feel like McClendon would say that.
Well, he
however,
said it with his car physically. Let's see here on the old replay. He pulled off a Bubba, not to spoil the race, but he just didn't go.
Yeah, see, this, kids, is why you don't text and drive as we go through. But you could see, I don't think he was texting and driving. I hope he wasn't YouTube chatting driving as he goes through. But you could see that McClendon was ready to go here on the jump. And
now we'll just follow
Tyler
McClendon here just to see this little last second faux pas or situation that came up. So McClendon's just doing his own business. Oh, could have been a little. I don't even know. We'll call that a happy little accident. We'll just take a page out of Bob Ross's book there. But what that'll do is that'll put a lot of drivers in a situation where they have that very pivotal decision to make, Brad, where do they want to burn the fast repair, or do they believe that they can head into the pits and get enough of that repair done to save it in case a worst case situation happens?
I don't have a good answer for what the best decision is on that too. I think really a lot of drivers, unfortunately, are going to have damage that's going to force them into the pits for that fast repair. And here's the problem. We're lap 12 of 85 and you're already taking the fast repair, and you don't have a choice but to take it, really.
Let's take a look at Steve here. We'll just kind of follow him into his pit box here. And again, the way that the fast repair dictates here on iRacing, the way that we can tell is there's just kind of a pop. You'll see all that damage, namely to the right front of the car. It'll just instantly just pop, and it'll go just back to being a pristine vehicle here. We'll see it basically instantly. Nope. He's going for the repair because it would have already kicked in. So Steve is going to try to get that thing situated, but he does have the benefit of a longer racetrack here, Brad. So because it's 2 miles, I think our pace laps here are about a minute. You can get a fair bit done per pace cycle.
Yeah, and that shows to me just the wiseness of Steve McClendon. Now, again, a multi-time champion here in triple bypass. Nobody is surprised to hear that Steve McClendon is a wise racer when it comes down to it. So what McClendon's doing here, and this is what I'm not surprised to see, is McClendon's pitting in and just letting the repairs happen and gauging based on what he sees on this first pit stop, will gauge if on the next pit cycle he takes the fast repair. And that is something that I've seen more drivers start to pick up, Corey, as they go, is that if they get some damage, they pit in and just see what that time is. Can they afford to just kind of sit and let that go in a pit stop cycle, take it over a pit or two?
I'll tell you.
Or do they need to suck it up and take the fast repair?
Well, I'll tell you from experience, and I can't remember what race it was, but I did do a race with these triple bypass guys, one of their, obviously not Cup Series, but one of their smaller leagues. And I got some damage, and I thought I could fix it, and I got it about half fixed, and then no other cautions came out, and I was detrimented with a car that was off pace for the rest of the race with no opportunity to get back in the game. So if the damage is slowing you down enough, you have to make the call on the stage. That's my take on it. But we are going single file. That is something that also happens quite frequently, is they will make that call to clean things up and spread things out to go single file. And with 2 quick cautions, I can understand that decision. But we will race with about 17 laps into the stage. We still have 32 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, 32 drivers lead lap here, 17 laps to the stage. Do the math on it. Good racing coming up, and that single file restart. Some tracks we kind of go, okay, but here you are really going to see the big difference in it and what happens. So we're going to go through to the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. We are back underway here with Ty Bass leading us through, Brad Kress P2, Derek Cat, Chad Bear, Kyle Gresh, your top 5 as they go.
Coming off into turn number 1, and you can see how much different it looks. We'll see. I mean, they're all spacing out. They're still using the top of the racetrack. Remember, the top 2 Bass and Cat still on their initial set of tires and their initial fuel load here. Bass going all the way to the inside. We know he is one to not go down without a fight. But Brad Kress, don't count him out either. Both going down to the inside, and that is, who's that rainbow card to the outside? That is actually Derek Cat, followed by Gresh trying to work himself through the field in the 27.
I think what's going to be interesting to watch here is that Bass and Derek Cat haven't pit. We know that the fuel run is not going to get them to the stage at lap 30 unless they have managed to save a significant amount of fuel here through these 2 caution cycles that we've had. It's possible for sure as they go through. So let's see what happens here. Kyle Gresh, the 2025 24-hour winner. This is a driver that I know knows his way around a road course because I've raced him on several. He knows his way around an Indy car. Let's see how he does here.
The second part of that is my question.
Martinsville Beer Ferry, I don't have an answer for. That's why I didn't say anything.
Well, that's what Discord's for. We'll find out later in the event, I'm sure. Chad Baer looking to the inside of Derek Cat, or perhaps Derek Cat looking to the outside of Chad Baer. Derek Cat, that is what you call the Larson line there, all the way up by the fence, ripping it, probably actually hit it for a little bit of time as well. But Ty Bass, you'd think he's doing the Indy 500 trying to break the draft, going all the way down to the flat and all the way back up to the top of the track. Sometimes I actually think that's slower to do that, but to each their own. We'll see what he chooses to do on these subsequent corners here. But who else do we got? We got Josh Corner. Remember, he was all the way back in 30th or so on the grid. He's got himself worked up to the top 10 via the strategy. Or 20th, rather, not 30th.
From him there. Yeah, 20, 30, it all feels the same sometimes when you're back there. So he's doing a good job of getting things moving through. That Cool Ranch number 5 of Elton Woo is doing a good job as well, getting things moving and continuing his way along. Let's see how he goes.
What's going on? That's Cat.
We're wrecking up front. No caution, question mark.
Working on it. Cat has already spawned into the pits. But that will not go without, something interesting happened here. Derek Cat in the 29, Brad Kress down to the inside of the second here. Let's take a gander. He got loose on his own. And Emmer lucked out. Yeah.
Man.
Well, we stayed green through that. Oh, so sorry, hit the wrong camera there. We'll get one more look at it, and then we'll cut back to live footage. You can see Kress to the bottom. This was of no significance. He just got loose by his own. Kress lucked out with his placement there, that he was not snookered into that as well. But either way, that is Cat into the pits. Top 5 run is no longer here. He will be multiple laps down via that choice to tow the vehicle here. But you can see the snaking going on, my Lanta. That's just something I don't usually see. I know the slipstream, the draft does come into play here, but I didn't think it was that paramount.
I mean, Formula One raced at Monza this morning, and even then they weren't swerving as much as we're seeing these cars go. WEC was at Coda, and we didn't see any swerving there. I mean, it was almost a washout, though, not to spoil that one, but it's endurance racing at Coda. It's going to be the one time it ever rains, so nobody should be surprised. Checking back in here with a few different cars. It's the number 36 of Zachary Nerney going through, chasing down that number 92. Going ahead of him and continuing further back here, Nicholas Deal in P20. He's trying to deal with a good run right now, trying to find his way forward as he goes. Let's see what that Coca-Cola car can do further back. Still checking in on more of our drivers as they go.
There's Daniel Williams, Matt Harmon, Jeremy Brown, some of these drivers who got damage in that wreck. Jeremy Brown, of course, he was top 5, and you can see on the nose of that number 46 Elite Designs Camaro how crumpled in it is, and that's certainly going to hurt the aero at a very speed-oriented track such as this Auto Club Speedway. But we'll go back to the front top 5 right now, and Kress under fire from Hopkins in the number 10, and Kress going all the way to the bottom of the track. The side draft very effective here in the next gens, but he didn't choose to do any of that, just let him go. And Michael Hopkins really utilizing that upper lane here at Auto Club. We'll take a gander here on our Whiplash Sim telemetry here. And coming down the back stretch, again, he really is trying to give zero draft to Ty Bass. But I don't know. I just think he's hurting himself more than he's helping himself, personally.
That's the thing is, I almost feel like this is more of a psychological thing that he's doing than it is to actually see him, getting any effect from it. But then again, sometimes psychological can have a bigger effect as we go through the front stretch. I mean, he's doing it there too. If it was me, I'd just be holding the wall, ripping the high line all the way around this track. I wouldn't even bother to swerve through. So seeing Ty Bass continue to do that, and Michael Hopkins, everyone following through the front stretch, but not through the back stretch. Brad Kress a little loose there.
And I'm pretty sure at some point, I don't remember who said it, but Dale Earnhardt actually told someone not to do that at some point or another, because what it will actually do, especially as on a track like this where it is older pavement, it is a bunch of bumps as Kress hits the wall. You're actually putting load on the car. The car is not meant to turn to the right, so when you make that hard bite back to the right on the straightaway, especially on older tires, you wouldn't be surprised if that thing bites into the wall. I've seen it happen before, but he's happy to do it, and if he thinks it's working, well, he'll go on and keep doing it. Or there's another possibility, he's just bored and it's entertaining. I mean, never know.
I mean, I sometimes do that, and when I'm driving and I'm stuck in construction traffic, I'll do a little bit of a back and forth in my lane, a little bit of weaving, just for fun. But never done it at speed on a speedway here, running on the lead. So, I mean, there's a difference between doing that in construction traffic in a Subaru Crosstrek and doing that in a race car at pace. Anyways, with that being said, our wonderful friend of Dylan Freeman trying to get a pass done here on Elton Wu, trying to run through the Admiral Levine car versus the Cool Ranch PepsiCo car. Let's see who comes out ahead as they go along. And, well, out to the outside, Dylan Freeman is going to say, "See you later, boy," and get a position up.
Yeah, except never mind. I was trying to incorporate the next line of the song, but it would not have made any sense whatsoever. Keith Handelin there, he is looking to the outside of Crothers, that is, and now he'll set his sights on a can of Dr. Pepper in the form of Josh Corner. And then you get the gap up to Emmert, who has been changing the paint schemes. We did a whole dissection of all of the ice cream flavors on the front of that car, to the absolute dismay of Mr. Al Corey, who got sick of it, and then he changed the paint scheme, but now he's got it back. So now it's time for us to discuss some ice cream. Has anything changed? I don't think it has. So, nope, same old car, same old tasty ice cream. I don't know where Brahms ice cream is. I don't know if that's a national flavor or not, but it's ice cream, so I'll still fancy it, just as I fancy some fried chicken. Fried chicken and Cool Ranch Doritos. Just sounds like something that should go together.
Honestly, that sounds delicious, and I think Taco Bell specifically.
Cool Ranch breaded fried chicken. I mean, I personally just prefer nacho cheese breaded fried chicken to somehow incorporate that into the batter. But I know some people like their different flavors, so.
So you're talking about Taco Bell basically at this point.
Oh yeah, they've already done that with their nuggets, haven't they?
They did, and it was delicious. I am so upset that they're not there. I need them to bring them back sooner rather than later.
Well, we'll go to the website, send their feedback notification, and maybe it won't happen. Still haven't tried my KFC wedges yet. Gotta get back on that. But here comes Kyle.
Oh, they're so good.
KFC Gresh. Kyle Gresh. There goes my brain for 5. I didn't have dinner today. Kyle Gresh to the inside of our race sponsor, Sean Bradley. We'll shut the door on him, and here comes the ice cream mobile, the aforementioned ice cream mobile of William Emery. Have we ever pulled up his fact? What does he have to say about himself? Road Series champion, and he is obsessed with the Mustang, and surprisingly, he's driving a Mustang, so obviously that factoid is accurate.
Yeah, and no surprise there. Usually when drivers, and I think people in general here, as we see Chad Baer trying to make his move around the Catamount Solutions number 10 there, and Michael Hopkins gets a run down the inside, and Chad Baer is going to get the pass done, at least for the moment, the Tennessee native. Let's see if he can clear it through. He's not going to clear it, and he is going to end up stuck there to the inside, and, well, Houdini has appeared, much to the dismay of Chad Baer, and he slots back in.
Someone is that orange car right there. I'm not sure who it is, but that orange car was oddly slow is Matthew Alaka has a lock. There's no way to make a pun out of that, but let's see what happened to him regardless.
It's going to be a laka turn to the left.
Oh, rest in peace. Rest in peace. What was his name? Greg Moore. He had a very similar incident, but at a much higher rate of speed, 1999. In that same section of the track. That's why it's actually paved now. But we are under caution, and this is our stage in Bradley. Wait. This is not our stage. This is going to be our stage, but it's not.
Chad Bear.
Yeah, it's our stage, but not our stage. Chad Bear, remember, he dominated the Chicago Street Course last year. That didn't work out for him. Had a good car. What is with turn 2 here today?
The car just Kyle Gresh bumping into him, and then holding the brakes does nothing there. Man. Turn 2 and a loose race car. If I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have the Powerball winnings at this point.
I think you'd have about 15 cents. Yeah, Gresh just couldn't make the right decision there. Whether to go high, whether to go low. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But luckily that was pretty minimal impact, but that will bring out the stage. So the stage will go to Ty Bass. Stage would have closed at lap 30. So we will be encompassed by lap 30 with this. So that point will go to Ty Bass. And he will get the first set of tires on. He did make, although he did have the benefit of a couple cautions, he did make all 30 laps without any sort of pit stop.
That is really good, and that tells me that the fuel can stretch a little bit further than what my little insider told me. So if that insider has the broadcast on in the background, which I know a lot of these drivers like to listen on the back end just to get a little bit of extra info that they may not get otherwise, is Ty Bass missed his pit box. So many drivers missing their pit box today. I don't know what's happening, but guys, practice pit stops. If you're learning how to run in iRacing, one of the most important things you can do is learn how to do a pit stop.
I will say this track here in Daytona, Talladega, they have higher speed limits, I believe, usually about 55. And it is a little bit of an adjustment. Usually your Charlottes, your short tracks, 35, 40, 45. But when you go 55, 60, you do have to kind of adjust for it, which, to your point, that's why we practice things. Practice. We talking about practice. That quote came up for most people watching this probably were alive. Quote Allen Iverson, 2003 ? But Daniel Williams staying on second here. He has been out for 18 laps, so he will need a pit stop within about 12, 13 laps, which that would put him still in a window where he can't make it from here. That put him in a window of probably lap 50. That's 35 laps to the end. So Williams would need 2 stops from here. So not sure why he just doesn't pit, but you know, sometimes the cautions fall in your favor.
So my informant has corrected himself here. It's 26 green flag laps on the fuel run. So any caution laps does extend that. I'm going to be interested to see how things play out as into the pits.
He heard me. He said
Williams.
He heard me. That's what it was. He's like, I made a bad decision, so I'm coming into the pits. And I'm not saying he talks like Patrick, but we were supposed to talk to Sean Bradley, weren't we?
Yeah, we were, and we. See, here's the thing: is like every other race we've had, the race sponsor hasn't actually been in voice comms available. So a little out of practice here. I'm not gonna lie.
So here's what we'll do here. We'll just be very awkward with it. Hey, Sean, it's 1 to go, and we forgot to talk to you, but we just want to let you know that we didn't forget to talk to you, and that we'll talk to you later.
All right, 10-4. Thanks for the heads up.
Welcome to PTR TV, boys and girls.
And that was actually a big, podcast topic, but it was actually an internal conversation we were having the other day, and even this morning, is being stiff Coke broadcasts that are very, very true to life and, very say the right thing perfectly, and then just kind of having fun with it. And we'll stand on the curb, but we're going to have fun with it. And if someone says they don't like it, well, you know what? It is what it is.
It's fun.
Professionally
like rock.
entertaining. That's what we try to do. Not professionally professional, professionally entertaining. Combine the two, have some fun. That's what we do. I tried to rhyme, but I ran out of time. Let's come off and take the restart. Avril Lavigne, followed by Brad Crest to the outside. Ty Bass and Emmert will comprise of row number 2. Coming to the Geico restart zone. Geico's not affiliated with the sport, but this track will never get updated. Green flag in the air for stage 2.
And away we
we're
go.
wrecking.
Avril Lavigne here. A big wreck in the background.
Cat and Benson.
Well, looks like the cat threw a hairball, and he's going to get rolling again now, but let's get a quick PTR TV replay and right here on the go. So Cat.
Oh, it's huge stack up.
Oh, that's a major checkup.
Yeah, you'd think Doc Stuffins was there because something about a checkup. I know it's a Doc Stuffins thing. Yeah, I don't know why that inside lane didn't go, but
he saw the Pokemon and got excited, I think, and then forgot to actually throw the Pokeball.
And then you just hurt the Pokemon, so.
Well, you know.
Well, that puts us under caution
Let's-
again, and that gives us the opportunity to talk to Sean.
Let's get Sean up in here. Where is Sean Bradley hiding?
All right, Sean, so we didn't expect to talk to you so quickly after I just forewarned you that I was going to talk to you, but we're talking to you now. So, being said, it's your race. You're currently running 13th, but that's not indicative of your speed. How's it feeling tonight?
Yeah, it's not feeling too great. I got some nose damage, and I have like another 6 seconds of optional to fix that. So it's a little tight. I'm hoping not to burn up my tires on this run too much. Trying to fight that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, what would you say? I mean, turn 2 really seems to be the trouble spot. Every wreck that we've had here today has really been someone getting, loosey-goosey and just overcorrecting off turn number 2. Has that been an issue for you here tonight, or is that damage kind of, hindering what you may feel?
Yeah, well, it is. If anything, it's helping a little bit, being a little bit tighter out of 2 because, yeah, it is snapped loose. So the damage is helping a little bit in that regard, but it's slowing me down everywhere else, so I'd rather just get it fixed.
All right, and then it's one more question, of course. It's your race, the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170. What's your affiliation with that company? And, just talk about the sponsorship.
Yeah, it's a volunteer-run radio station, and it is run by my father, Fred Bradley, and his wife, Sue Bradley. So they run this station. It's mostly oldies music with some live broadcasts, some recorded broadcasts from the 50s and 60s, and documentaries as well. So you can listen to them on CVUE.ca and tune in radio. So give them a listen one day.
Of course, it's the first time we've ever seen you not in a Simpsons-oriented car, but that car is looking slick there. So good luck out there, and we'll see what you can do for the last, 50 laps.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's even a little bit of Metallica in there. 6 seconds of damage, so 6 seconds of damage, Brady. If you do a regular green flag stop or even just a regular pit stop, I'd say you could probably get about 1 second of that fixed without losing any time. So he's in that vicious battle, but I have to imagine, per what we talked about earlier, the next caution that comes out, I think he's going to bite the bullet and take that repair because he knows he has the speed, he knows he can handle it. You don't want to have the detriment to go along with it.
Yeah, I just hope for his sake that the next caution is a little bit closer to where he can fuel up and get to the end, because it would stink to, have to pit in, get that damage repaired, do all of your things, and then have to turn around and know that you still need to pit again later. We'll see how this goes, though, as everyone gets set up for the restart. Does appear that it will be a double file restart again. Actually, no, I think Ty Bass is just running a bit out of line there to Dylan Freeman as we go through. So this actually will be a single file restart as we go along here, keeping our eyes on the prize of 85 laps. And usually when there is an immediate run-in of a caution right on a start, the next start you can pretty much guarantee will be single file.
Yep, and hopefully we can get things going. Of course, we were at Daytona 2 weeks ago, and Daytona is, it raced like Daytona, as one would infer that it would. And just taking a gander at the next race on our schedule, because I don't remember. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast here today, but we will be headed to Bristol, and we will be heading a lot more in line with the actual Cup schedule, which should help people out with practice, you'd infer. We'll go to Bristol, Iowa, and Kansas. That'll be the remainder of our month of September here in 2025 Season 9. But let's get ourselves underway. Dylan Freeman trying to get himself a race win. He'll start this restart off from that advantageous P1 spot and a hungry Ty Bass to his arrears.
Getting things wound up here. Let's look over the shoulder of Barney as they come single file to the green flag, and green, we're underway. Ty Bass going to look for a run here. Everybody gets away, but Kyle Gretsch drops low there. Yeah, Deal having a big deal there on the restart as we get going here, and he is really struggling to get up to speed, it looks like.
Well, let's get a very quick summation of what happened to Nicholas there, that number 92. Huge stack up again. And that was a really bad impact to the rear of that number 30 car, but nobody wrecked from it. But that's 2 restarts in a row where we are having some serious issues here. But either way, let's get ourselves back going. And again, one thing that this league does, as I guess I'll pause that and let things settle out. We do have to go over our recap video of Daytona from 2 weeks ago. But now we have a battle for the lead. Ty Bass to the inside of Freeman. Brad Kress trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah, and this is one of those that you kind of end up corked in a bottle here. I hate to say it, but Dylan Freeman is not the genie in the bottle. He's the cork in the bottle here as we go through. Brad Kress clears himself high very quickly, carves his way through. Ben Harkham in the Popeyes car is going to try to go underneath here of the 316 of Curtis Mitchell, and he does clear that through as we go through, and battles continue. That ice cream car trying to get around now on the inside. Yeah, this front 6 have decided to really just take the gloves off.
Yep, and Ty Bass again doing his snaking technique, and maybe we'll talk to him post-race, and maybe he's done the math. A lot of these drivers, again, Brad, I think we take for granted how much practice and how many races these drivers do, and maybe he's done the math to, sometimes that slipstream is worth breaking. And either way, a little side draft from Brad Kress. He is going to do the Auto Club diver down to the inside. Will he be able to clear is the question. Here he comes up the track. He'll clear, but I smell a crossover. Here he comes, and here it goes.
Send it up the inside now. Ty Bass with the run of speed. Let's see what he does here. All the way on the low side. Can he clear himself up high into 1 and 2? Well, certainly he can with a little bit of room to spare there. He's going to hold a little bit lower in the line than Brad Kress is. It's going to give a little bit of arrow push on the car of Brad Kress. They'll clear through back into the backstretch. Still keeping the battle, but Ty Bass not swerving this time. Really just holding about a half a car length off compared to Brad Kress. The arrow here on the next gen can push a little bit, and it can get a little bit frustrating, but out of 4, they might line up side by side. They don't. Little wiggle there from Brad Kress. Ty Bass goes down low across the line, nearly side by side, but Kress will slot in. Ty Bass very defensive.
Yeah, that was a huge move, and obviously we've got that move made, and Ty Bass overcame it. Now what he's been doing, he's been trying to lock down that inside lane in turn 3 and evading any kind of dive bomb move that can be made, but he almost cut himself across the outside of Brad Kress. But again, as I said, blocking the inside. Here comes Derek Catt, the slow car. Brad Kress fully in that dirty air. You could see how much he struggled from it through that 3 and 4 complex.
Yeah, it's so interesting to watch. The draft gives them so much speed down the front and the backstretch, but then through the turns, it's just accordions back out. So you really have to nail the run if you want to do something different. And here is the something different I was waiting on. Brad Kress going to go all the way to the low line here, try to run it through. This will give him a bit of a head of speed. Ty Bass is going to switch it down low. He doesn't want to give the slipstream. Let's see here. Can he clear himself back up? He's going to cut back up last second, and he's got over a car width there between as they go through that number 10. We jump back. Michael Hopkins crazy and caution out on the field, lap 42.
Oh, 160 again. Ooh. And who is that? That is Seymour as well. That very seldom do you see a wreck at that point on the straightaway. And at quick glance, this is an interesting one, Brad.
Let's see what happens here. That's the 84 Ward Fisher coming through, and that's Seymour and Fisher. Light tap, Waffle House, fist fight coming through. And
Emmer.
Well, there goes our ice cream.
Oh, there goes. So this one's going to take
That's
some
where Tyler got
dissection. So they're 3 wide off the corner here. I guess the $1 million question is 84, 87, who did what, but either way, 87 got loose. And then Tyler, you know, Brad, we call people out here on PTR TV. It's our name, it's our thing. That's what we do. Arca brakes.
Does he even lift?
He lifted, but he didn't slow down. So I mean, Arca brakes is completely going full bananas in there. So I mean, he went about 80% banana. So, but speaking of bananas, not really. There wasn't a segue there to be had, but we do need to go over our race recap now that we're 2 weeks past our Daytona race. It'll actually be good for me to rewatch this because I don't remember what happened 2 weeks ago. So enjoy our triple bypass recap of Daytona. We'll be back with you upon completion.
August 24th, 2025, Daytona International Speedway. The Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series was back in action, and wow, what a wild one. 13 leaders, 20 lead changes, 6 cautions for 18 laps. It was pure super speedway chaos from start to finish.
The race was sponsored by Howie Burrows, and the Wreck'em Deck'em Crashbots 85 was set to go broadcast live on Primetime Racing TV.
And right in the thick of it, Dylan Freeman in car 31. He played it cool most of the night, but when the final lap came around, he made the winning move. Freeman led just 4 laps, but that final one sealed the deal. His fastest time, a blistering 46.3 seconds on the very last lap.
Right behind him, by just 0.02 seconds, was Steve McClendon in car 51. After starting 20th, he worked his way through the pack like a seasoned pro. He led 26 laps, the most of anyone, and posted a 46.3 on lap 84. That finish could have gone either way.
And don't forget about Josh Kerner in car 16. He started 27th and nearly pulled off the upset, just 0.04 seconds behind McClendon at the stripe. He only led 1 lap, but what a climb through the field.
4th place went to Daniel Williams, who had a solid outing and led 13 laps. And rounding out the top 5 was Elton Wu. Quiet early, but there at the end when it mattered.
And how about Freeman? Calm under pressure, methodical all night, and fearless when it mattered most. Daytona victories don't come easy, but he made it look like it did.
We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pro Series recap. We'll see you next time.
All right, we're back here after that recap video. This is the Triple Bypass Nickel Oils Pros Cup Series here from Auto Club. Race number 3, 85 laps around. And we are racing in the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170, a race broadcasted and presented by Sean Bradley, who we spoke to about 15 minutes ago, a station in Canada that is ran by his father there, and some good content there. You can take a look and listen to that. I think the link is in the description. But we had a very good battle amongst these top 2, Cress and Bass, and now we're going to get them side by side, stacked up for a restart, Brad.
And as we come through to this restart, I'm going to be curious to see how Ty Bass handles this restart here on the outside as we go through the Geico restart zone. He gets a great jump early on. Look at that going through, and I don't see anything wild happen in this restart. We're green. We're going lap 45 of 85, 30 laps to go.
And that is the Wooster in 5th spot, Elton Wu. I think the highest he's been here on the evening, trying to make what he can make out of it there. Freeman who led a little bit, and now he is all the way back. And I thought Ty Bass got loose, but he's just doing his swerving tactic that he has mastered all race. And Ben Harcum, Popeyes, known for its slow service, needs to hire Ben Harcum because he's showing some serious speed there in that drive-through number 78.
Ben Harcum, great move there to the inside. Let's see if he can love the car the way he loves the chicken from Popeyes. Looking pretty good there going through. And a couple other cars following around that 316 of Curtis Mitchell. I see him back in the background, dropping all the way to the apron as well. You know how I feel about that, Corey. But, hey, drivers are going to do what drivers want to do. Is the 316 and the 33 Kyle Dewey. Can he do it? We're 3 wide almost coming out of turn 2 as they fight their way through. Everybody getting a bit feisty here as we're closing in near the end stages of this race, and nobody can get away from anyone right now.
Always the one person I haven't done a driver infographic for is the one person didn't do the spreadsheet, but we're 4 wide, and that is Steve McClendon. He is trying to work his way through the field. Did he take his fast repair? I'm going to check here on the back end. Answer is no. So he got, through the multitude of cautions that we've had, that number 51 racing pretty sporty as he's in the middle of 3 wide with Creedler to the outside and Mitchell to the inside.
Yeah, keeping that battle more alive than I thought it was going to be there for Steve McClendon after that damage he got early. John Creedler going all the way down, and Steve McClendon is going to give him a light little love tap. Chad Bear will give Steve McClendon a love tap there, as I think that 99 going very defensive, going maybe a little too defensive coming through, as everyone had to kind of get their P's and Q's together. Chad Bear capitalizes, gets ahead of McClendon, and John Creedler has a bit of room to the outside, goes Jeremy Brown 3 wide into turn 1.
Now this is all for 11th place, now 10th place, and maybe 11th place. Huge wiggle from Bear. He manages to save it. Turn 2's been the trouble spot, and it is the trouble spot.
Oh, big wreck here this time
I
through.
don't know where to start with that one.
Emmert
and the Bristow is all the way down to the inside wall, but Auto Club
Benson, question mark?
has been a doozy here today. Emmert is where I believe it sort of maybe stemmed from, but I could very well be wrong here. Let's take a gander. There's Deal into the fence at the back. Oh, Risto got loose. Right-hand save, and there goes the 30 into the wall again. Benson, yep, he got loose trying to save it and put himself into the wall. And is that Ward Fisher? Yeah, Ward Fisher. Where did he come from in this?
Let's see. So
he hit the 316.
Was his own separate incident.
And then there's Waffle House into the wall again. So that wreck about encapsulated, I'd say about a third of the field.
Yeah, not ideal. And 2 separate incidents kind of just going almost in sync with each other as we come through. But still watching kind of the top of the field here. They've been very stable running their way through. This top few have kind of held on to their own once they've gotten up here to stay up here. And here we go. That's
oh my God. Oh my God.
That is the ultimate fake out.
He faked himself out.
Was he trying to fake?
It's one thing to break somebody else's ankles, taking a line out of the NBA book, but it's one thing to break your own ankles. I don't know if he's clipped the grass, and that's maybe what got that left rear around, but I don't know where iRacing's going to put him. Right now, he is being shown 15th. Sometimes it'll freakishly let you... Actually, no, he's working through. I hope they don't put him too far up, but it is up to the algorithm. Al Corey's not here as the league main honcho. But I really hope, and I'm not being biased or I don't have anything against him, but you should not be able to get your spot back after that. That's just entirely a software nuance that is a blessing to the 9 right now.
Yeah,
you should not be able to keep your spot after that. Absolutely not.
And again, Brad Kress, nothing against you personally. Just one of those that when you're sitting 45 degrees, or actually you're sitting 90 degrees to the racing line stationary and you get passed by several cars. I mean, yeah, that's pure luck right there. Brad Kress will be counting his lucky stars at this point that he got away with that one. He saw Ty Bass go. He tried to follow Ty Bass through, and as soon as Ty Bass cut, he reacted just last second. That's one of the things you can do in NASCAR. You can fake a pit stop like that, go through, and then as long as you haven't hit that first commitment line, you can come right back out as long as you don't do anything crazy. So, guys, you'll see that fairly often. That's just a competitive advantage that they take going through as we go 1 to green, and it'll be double file. Ty Bass to the outside here, Corey.
Yep, and through all that, where we were distracted by that little incident, you can see the top 8 did not pit. Brown pitted on the prior caution. Trad Bear pit, caution or so prior to that. And that would mean that they all still need to pit again. Everybody else, we're looking at 33 laps to the end. That's a stretch. So I would still safely say that even if you pit this time by, you would need about 4 or 5 cautions to make the end of the race. So from this juncture, everyone still effectively needs to pit given very outlandish situations, but we have seen very outlandish situations occur.
Yeah, I mean, they can occur, but I don't think that is going to occur. Let's see how this goes through, though, as it stands. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Make sure you grab some popcorn, grab something to drink here. And also, if it's your first time here, make sure you like and subscribe as we are chasing 1,900 subscribers now. Big thank you to everyone who got us above 1,800 as we're working on 1,900. Coming around turn 4, we're working to get to lap 85 here around Auto Club. And Ty Bass is going to be working on another restart to the outside. Pace car pulls in, and let's see how we get going as we'll hit the restart zone that I wish we could reskin from Geico. We're green, and Ty Bass with a great jump.
And speaking of not getting a good jump, which no one was speaking of it, but I now am, Michael Hopkins, he did not get a good run off the jump there, and that will let the Rooster get ahead of him. Elton has never confirmed or denied if he hates being called that, so we're just going to assume that he likes it. But here comes our race sponsor, Sean Bradley. Remember, he had a little bit of damage, but he's worked himself through the field. Ty Bass doing his traditional snake move down to the inside, but here comes Bradley going for 4th underneath. He's going to do the diver, maybe go 2 for 1 Bob's your uncle, because he's going to drive to the inside of the Wooster at the same time, but there goes the run from the top.
Yeah, and that's the thing on the low side is the low side early into the corner, you're going to feel like you really got it going. But then on corner exit, you still have to blend back into the line, and the top line can carry that momentum more. So it's kind of it's just a placebo effect of getting that run unless you can make it stick here. Matthew Epting started 11th, currently 13th here. And as he settles in, he's just trying to get back to where he started at this point going through. And of course, the back end of that car earlier, the Pokemon all getting hit there without a Pokeball as we went on one of those single file restarts. I've already lost count of which one. The 51 of Steve McClendon here trying to find his way through down the inside. Tyler's saying in chat, I think this race is making Steve go stir crazy. Is the admin here? I would believe it.
Yeah, and Steve obviously a little emotional as well because his race has not gone favorably because he's been involved in some incidents not of his own doing to the inside of the Pokemon car. That Bush Apple beer, which I think I've had it once or twice, and it wasn't bad. I don't know if it was just the fall season getting me, but I know some people are very opinionated about having beer that has flavor in it, but to each their own. But either way, John Creeder in that Spotify car. Sorry, I started using YouTube Music, and it's actually pretty good, and it comes with the free ads, the no ads. So I like YouTube Music, but the Spotify car, he's got himself in the 15th spot. Harcum is trying to work himself through the field here, but going up front, here comes Brad Kress. Pit slide and all in second and looking for more.
From one Brad to another, I would be really excited to see the 9 get this win. Ty Bass has led so much here down the inside. He's trying to push this through. Let's see how he can close it up. Ty Bass immediately down to the low side. And look at this. Brad Kress is starting to follow him here. That Indy 500 strategy. I wonder if he ran the 6 hours of Indy and he's just kind of funneling that in at this point. As we run through here, high line out around. Brad Kress still trying to find his way past. He's there. And this is something I say a lot, Corey, on Wednesday nights. Something I say a lot with Kart Chaser and the real life karting commentary I do. It's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, and Brad Kress is just proving that point true time and time again right now. He's right there. He can't get by.
Nope, time after time. Talk to Cindy Lauper there. Let's go 4. Let's go nearly 5 wide for a split second here. Auto Club can support it, even if it's not recommended. Kyle Dewey, is this the first time we've talked about him since the starting lineup? Maybe, but he is now in that 6th position as Gresh. He is the first one on fresh tires in that 6th spot. We'll bring up our stints one more time on the left side of your ticker. On the right side, I suppose I should say. You can see 26 laps. They'll all be in the pits, probably within 4 to 5, but Kyle Gresh trying to make do. And it will be interesting, Brad, to see what he chooses to do with the strategy. We're coming to 35, 37 laps to go. They still won't be able to make it, even pitting in 2 to 3 laps.
Not at all. They need to get to about lap 65 here.
And that's with cautions, too.
Yeah, I think that's where the comfortable line hits is lap 65. So even if there are cautions at that point, you'd be good to make it to the end. I think a little bit of patience is a virtue here, but almost 5 wide again. I don't know if patience is afforded as John Bradley carves to the inside here from Kyle Gresh, brings it through. Let's see how this one battles itself out as they're going to go side by side, almost hitting doors. 2 by 2 by 2, we go into turn 1. I tell you what, these guys are not done yet.
Gresh in that 33, the Waltrip car. Michael Waltrip making some interesting social media statements here today post Illinois race, but here he gets loose as the 27 down to the inside once again is Dewey. Hopkins, Jeremy Brown doing the comeback tour. He was stuck in that incident on the restart very early in the affair, but 33 will clear. He's going to shut the door, and I expect a crossover move. I expect a wiggle. I expect some wall to the wiggle to the wall, and I won't say the next line.
Wet is dripping down my bra is what I will say, because this is wild how this is going along. The 27 going through high, 33 there. The Catamount Solutions number 10 of Michael Hopkins now coming around here. Is that 46 of Jeremy Brown still with the battle? And remember, we still have the battle for the lead up front. We still have Bass and Kress that can't figure it out either. They continue to duel up front as that 10 is going to go through. 46 will take it 3 wide, and let's see here, the 10 now trying to get past the 33.
Yeah, the 46 was trying to figure out where to go, but we're side by side for the lead. Getting a run off the bottom of the racetrack on exit is super difficult to do at the line. I don't know who got it, but I think actually Kress may have got it for a whisker. Now let's see if he sends it on in there full bananas. He will do just that, but not enough to clear, or maybe he will. No, leaves the door open, gets a little bit of a wiggle. Here comes Ty Bass. You got to get right to that left rear. You got to side draft him. That's what you got to do. He'll do just that. I bet the 2 is going to pinch him in deep. No, the 2 is going to leave the inside open, allowing him to do a diver, but still can't clear.
I wonder if there's a little bit of management that's going to have to start playing in while you're still battling side by side. Ty Bass, I tell you what, he decided he wants the inside this time around. Barely clears himself through. Let's see how he does going up high here. Is back in the back. Kyle Gresh still in this big battle with Jeremy Brown, Kyle Dewey. They cannot figure it out, and now we're just adding in Keaton Crothers, Zachary Nerney, Michael Hopkins all coming into the mix. And who is that in P11 who started to snake his way up? Steve McClendon, who is up in this battle as well. So Steve McClendon going to start coming through, and Brad Kress, Ty Bass still not done battling it out.
Let's see, all the way to the inside. Is that an indication of a pit stop? Answer, yes. Ty Bass going to send it full speed into the pits here. We see a couple other takers. We see Hopkins. We see Bradley getting down to, I believe it's 50 miles per hour or so. And that'll be a pit stop with 32 to go. Interestingly enough, this was a 32-lap stint. So, and no, Ty Bass had to reverse into a stall there. So that's going to be critical under green. But they can go 32 laps, but they need the help of probably 3 to 4 cautions to get there.
Yeah, and that is going to be a very, very tall ask. But the way these guys are racing right now, I don't think it's impossible here. Let's see. Does anyone else follow through into the pits this time around?
Dewey.
Does look like Dewey will do it as see who else is coming through.
Brad Kress and the Wooster coming in. think that's Seymour at the back of the shot. Now this is 31 to go. Now I think as we were told, 26 to go is what you'd expect without needing any assistance of the yellow flag. And we don't know if we're going to get it. There's Gresh into the wall. That's not what he needs to do. But let's take a gander here at Gresh's, the picture. 20 laps to go. He pitted, so let's say he can go another 10. I don't know how many cautions have been. That puts him in a good situation. So Gresh is in a really good situation if he can keep the thing out of the fence.
Yeah, more drivers coming in now. Zach Nerney is into the pits and has a friend of the Spotify car, which I still use Spotify. So I am not a YouTube music connoisseur. I use Spotify. So we'll see how they get through and get going. As we're 20 to go this time high.
If you're paying for premium, you're literally getting it for free. It's at least worth the shot anyways. But add that to the podcast topic list that you're compiling here on the back end, Brad. But either way, here comes Sean Bradley coming down, and these drivers trying to get their lap back very critically right now. Sean Bradley is the first car one lap down. He needs to get to Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown in the same shot, about maybe 2.5 seconds. You have to be on the lead lap, because if you're a lap down, you have to take the wave around or even the free pass. It's just better to be on the lead lap just as a fail-safe.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because being a lap down is not ideal, and it can spell things through. Look at that, Sean Bradley clearing himself in front of Steve McClendon as he works his way forward here. We'll see how this goes. 20 laps to go to finish things out. Every driver who hasn't pit still needs to pit to make it to the end.
Do you know why I'm owing, Brad? And
I do not know why you're
not
owing.
That reason. That was very poor verbiage on my part, but let's take a look at a caution flag. Let's also take a look at Ty Bass speeding penalty. But
Rip Ty Bass's win.
Behind this scoring pylon is our caution. I know scoring pylons in NASCAR aren't a thing these days anymore, but let's see what happened. That is Jason R. The R is for Rats, because he wrecked and took Ward Fisher with him. I think it was a reactive wreck to a last-second pit decision by somebody. We'll go on board and deduce that.
Let's see here. So he's coming through. Kyle Dewey, the 33 to the inside here. He drops low.
It's corner.
He's coming around.
No, he just got loose.
Pitting.
But he just, from my take, I think he just got loose. I don't think that the 16, it might have been in his periph, but I don't think it was, the 16's fault at all. But this puts us in a spot where, we talked about being on the lead lap. Sean Bradley was not on the lead lap, so he will have to take the free pass. Gets him back on the lead lap, but he won't be able to pit with everybody else. He'll have to be tail end of the longest line on the restart, which will be very detrimental. But what's also detrimental is all those drivers that did pit, a lot of them are still a lap down.
Yeah, that is beyond painful for everyone going through, and that is where my O came from, is the fact that everyone who had pit, the cautions hit, and then that puts them in the worst position as Kyle Gresh misses his pit box by about a country mile here. I haven't kept up with Stick of Ball Sports, so I'm not sure if there was something in NFL or college football I could have referenced in that moment, but he majorly missed the box, and Steve McClendon, first car out of the pits.
Steve will be that first driver out. Jeremy Brown and Jeff Slaughter being shown as the leader because, I believe anyways, they made their pit stop but stayed on the lead lap. Therefore, they didn't need to pit, or they were actually on pit road, actually to pit one lap ago. They must have been on pit road when the caution came out, and that somehow froze them into their spots or something like that. So I'm going to ascertain that was the case. But yeah, Brown and McClendon, actually just Brown, because now the other driver, Slaughter, he is pulling off for some reason.
I'm not sure what he's pulling off for. That's
don't know
not
why
sure.
Either. And Brad, just we've been adding things in our notebook here today. I got one for you.
Hit me.
To the wiggle, to the wall. We got to add that to our PTR TV line book there. I like that
We
one.
really do. That was a good one.
Yeah, let's go
I
one.
wish I was able to pop up with a second line better than the word brawl.
Yeah, and I heard what you corrected in YouTube chat, by the way. That's what I heard, but I know now I know you didn't say it, but that is a act of minimal significance here. But let's just kind of summarize where we are now. Do we play the caution game? Screw it. Let's just do it. We have had 7 cautions for 18 laps. Keaton Crothers has the Xfinity fastest lap of the race, which means nothing here in triple bypass, to my knowledge anyways. But will that be the last caution? Well, we do not know. But what I do know is Auto Club, the way that it spreads out, that should certainly cause some interesting action. And again, our dominator to this point, Ty Bass, had a speeding penalty under his green flag stop, led 45 laps, is now relegated 26th and is 1 lap down.
Yeah, so Ty Bass is in the least opportune position, and I hate to say it, but I think Ty Bass's run for a win here tonight at Auto Club can kind of be written off unless Christmas miracles happen, which, let's be honest, it's triple bypass racing. Christmas miracles happen every day, every once in a while. So let's kind of see how this goes as we go through. I'm going to kind of see how this plays along here. McClendon up in the front. We'll get going green flag racing here with Jeremy Brown kicking us off through, and Dylan Freeman takes a hard hit there from the 88.
That's Slaughter.
Caution.
And he already...
Was that another restart checkup?
If it is, I'm going to be pissed off because it's happened like 5 times already. No, that was just wheel spin. And Slaughter just slaughtered Averill. Well, her career is already downhill anyway, so what's the difference? But Dylan won't take that kindly to that, I'm sure, but it's all in good fun.
We're going to hear about that one later.
Emmerich just pulled to the inside. I don't know if that had any surprise factoid to it, but either way, that is what you call another caution.
Let's see, and who does that put for our lucky dog with 15 to go?
I want to say Emmerich is the first one lined up. Now, I don't think you can't have, at least on iRacing, you cannot have any incidents on, applied to you at the time the caution comes out, because it will relegate you to next in line. Dylan Freeman is behind him, so Dylan, of course, is not going to be eligible for it because he was a part of the incident. He had, a 4X incident on his screen that's going to just invalidate him. So it should be Emmert. As a backup to that, it would be Ty Bass. We'll find out here.
If it's Ty Bass, it'll be interesting.
I mean, it's not enough time to get through the field, but it's plenty of time for Ty Bass to keep trying, that's for sure.
Yeah, but this will put Ty Bass in a unique position if he is through, because he's been clean air all day. This is the first time we'll see that car in any sort of traffic passing position. But I think right now the big question is going to be Steve McClendon, Jeremy Brown. Who's going to win out between that? Because I'm just going to reflect back.
Emmert's going to get that free pass. Or Emert. We've also never been corrected on that. So
fair enough. You know what's funny? Our front row, all the way back about 80 minutes ago, was Steve McClendon and Jeremy Brown.
And what do you know? How little things change as time passes. That wasn't the most eloquent quote, but it was a quote nonetheless. Brad already did welcome everybody to the channel and ask for some subs. Of course, I will just kind of do that again, and I'll pull the graphic up while we say that. Again, 1,900 subscribers is our new goal. Nice to be at 1,800. We do have some new content here in the works. Of course, here on PTR TV, we have Triple Bypass on Sundays and most Tuesdays. We will not be live this coming Tuesday. That race will be on a different channel. You can stay tuned to Triple Bypass socials for that. Brad covers the Elbows Out Racing Multi-Class Series on Wednesdays, and Brad has his new Corvette computer over there. So those races will be in super high quality with those huge fields. That'll be fun to watch. And we are working on a Thursday series in the works. So filling out some gaps here on the channel. But if you know a league or are in a league and have races on days that we are not live, feel free to go to PrimetimeRacingTV.com, fill out the form, get in touch, and we will get back to you one way or another.
Yeah, it's really exciting to kind of see the growth of the channel here this year, where it's went. I think back in January, we were nowhere near the subscriber count. I want to say we were still under 1,300 at the start of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So seeing things explode here at the channel has been awesome. And again, Corey, I don't want to give away too much of what's kind of behind the scenes working beyond what you've already said, but just know there's more great content coming up here on PTR TV for everyone to enjoy. That'll kind of give some exclusive behind the scenes access to how we do what we do here. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stay tuned, because we'll be announcing that here as soon as we can, and I'm going to put soon TM.
Yeah, of course, I don't know if it's not iRacing soon o'clock, but a little bit faster than that perhaps, but we'll see what happens. Of course, iRacing coming out with their new update this week, so that'll be fun, and maybe we'll get on track as well, have some fun with that. But let's figure out, will this be the final caution? Will this be the final restart? My gut says no, but my heart says I hope that it is. But let's see what happens. Jeremy Brown has been all over the field, back to front, back to front. Now he has himself up front when it matters here, coming to 12 laps to go in the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170 for Triple Bypass Nickel Oil's Pro Cup Series. Let's go green flag, and single file we are. Let's get going.
And everybody getting rolled away here this time with a better restart than we've seen for the rest of the races we go through. And everybody continuing to 1 and 2, looking good here. Jeremy Brown holding off Steve McClendon for the moment. And now we'll start to fan out. The battles will start to develop here. And the first battle I see is Kyle Gresh trying to work his way forward here. The Waltrip, the sexy Waltrip, Napa know-how car, whatever you want to call it, trying to get his way past that Coca-Cola car ahead of Nicholas Deal, who is dealing with the pressure pretty well, I'd say. Behind the scenes info, Jeff Slaughter, it's a hardware failure, and that is what caused that wreck.
Now, someone who has had the day of absolute hell is Dominic Zanobi here. He owns a Stanley Cup ring with his name on it. I don't know if he got it from T-Vue or not, or if he's somehow affiliated with the Panthers, but that is impressive nonetheless. But he has been in multitude of wrecks here today. If there's an opportunity to get damage, he's found it here today, has used his faster pair, and now in crunch time has himself in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's really one of the names of the game at this point. You know, we talk about it a lot, Corey, but you don't win races on lap one. You don't win stages. You don't win races at the stage. You win the race at the end. So if you can persevere and strategize and have a little bit of luck come your way, you can end up in a really good position here. As we see Brad Kress also trying to work his way up, trying to find himself in that little bit of a good position, trying to get a little bit of lady luck to swing his way as he's now up into the top 15 here. As we go 3 wide, Zach Nerney the inside, Brad Kress in the middle, and then up on top, it is that number 5 of the Wooster going through.
I don't know, what's a Fost racing driver?
So Fost is the team that Zach Nerney races in on Wednesday nights, and a little info about all those out. They only run 2 driver teams, so Nerney's saying he's the second best. Basically, you could say he's the worst.
Copy that. But it sounds better to say that you're second of 2 than you're second of, things, English and words. Sean Bradley, again, he was put off beat by that caution flag. He had to take the free pass, and that put him all the way in the back. I think the second caution got him back into the thick of it, where he didn't have to start all the way at the back. So now he's in 11th. He is in good position to claw himself back into the top 10. Looking a little bit further up, Nicholas Deal. He has been all through the field today, which I think is kind of the caveat of the field. That's kind of just what's gone on. And Nicholas Deal looks like he's trying to make a move on Kyle Gresh. I don't think we've uttered those sentences this season.
we really haven't. It's good to see Kyle Gresh up here near the front here. And again, looking through, the field seems like it's been very in a position, but everyone has ran in pretty much every position at least once, including Ty Bass now, because Ty Bass is back near the back of the field trying to work his way through as he goes here. He's P23 a lap down, first car a lap down, but he is really, really hammering it through as he is working his way up through the top 15 now. Up front here, it is still going to be Nicholas Deal, Kyle Gresh battling it out. And then you've got Keaton Crothers, who is putting pressure on McClendon. McClendon defending from Crothers more than he's attacking Jeremy Brown, which is good news for Jeremy Brown as we're 7 laps to go, because he just needs to run 7 clean laps at this point.
Now, Jeremy Brown. So, Brad, there was a few weeks ago that I had said Jeremy Brown won 2 races. And I don't remember when, and I don't remember where, but I know he won. And now it's more important than ever that I remember, and I still don't. Was it an area? Was it here? It was at Talladega. I don't know, but I know I covered a Jeremy Brown win. And he wants another one. But just as I say that, McClendon just took a Cookie Monster-sized bite out of that gap through 3 and 4.
I want to tell you it was an area. However, I am in the same situation as you, and I'm not 100% for sure. I have slept a lot of times since area or triple bypass raced at Talladega. So, with that being said, we'll just see if Jeremy Brown can get a win here, and then he can correct us later. Steve McClendon closing that gap. Gap continuing to close as we watch through. Look at Matt Harmon sending a move through, trying to get past Kyle Gresh and Nicholas Deal. As they come down into turn 3 we go. Steve McClendon, quarter of a second back here from Jeremy Brown. Keaton Crothers running that high line, and side by side Gresh and Hartman as they get a little swirly. Hartman has to back out of it. He's going to lose all the momentum he just had. Drop back behind that number 78 of Ben Harcum, and he'll try to work his way forward again. 5 laps to go.
McClendon just again, he seems to be getting through 3 and 4 a lot better. And what I thought was the case was that Brown maybe left the bottom open and ran the top in 3 and 4 one lap. But that time, well, that's not going to help anything, kissing the safer barrier. But what I thought happened was Brown, well, they're all on the straightaway now. Let's see where he runs. No, McClendon's going to go to the top of the track. Now that's going to get some clean air, but it's also going to get momentum, which is going to be very paramount and also very dangerous. Depends on which side of the spectrum you're on. Here comes the crossover game. It's going to be really hard to pass on the inside through 1 and 2. So he's going to have to protect that outside lane with his life.
Yeah, and that going through, I mean, this is just where the sheer determination is going to come in. He's got to fight it through, but also keep your eye on Keaton Crothers in P3. He's right there, and he could steal it from both of them if he wanted to. McClendon not able to get by in 1 and 2. He has to settle it back in behind. Let's see what happens in 3 and 4 here as we ride on board with the 2025 iRacing Indy 6-hour winner of Keaton Crothers. Going through, and let's see here what happens. And nobody does anything. McClendon hits the wall out of 4.
And what I think Jeremy Brown needs to start doing is running about a lane up. That's what McClendon has been doing through 3 and 4, and that's his better part of the track. He needs to put the dirty air, play defense. That's what this next-gen car is. It's not a Golden State Warriors 2023. It's a Detroit Pistons 2004. It's about playing defense more than it's offense. McClendon has been running the second lane through 3 and 4. Let's see if he does it. He is. If you're Jeremy Brown, throw him off. Run that lane. Pump some dirty air on the nose. That'll get you even bigger gap. But just as I say that, he pulled himself about 3/10 and gave himself a little bit more breathing room with 4 miles left to go.
Jeremy Brown has channeled what Ty Bass did for so many laps in the lead, where he is starting to swerve down the back stretch and kind of get a little offline in the front stretch. He's not focusing on the corners here. He's deciding the straightaways are where he wants to break it. Look at that. Now he's going to drop down low. Steve McClendon with a run here off of 2 as we continue along here, but nobody making the pass yet as we go through into 3 and 4. Continuing along, but again, he's not running that line of McClendon. He's running his own line through. White flag out this time by. Next flag will end it, and Steve McClendon looking for the pass. Keaton Crothers wants a run, and Kyle Gresh, we haven't uttered his name, but he's up there in 4th place ready to go.
That's 4 cars under a blanket, but only the top 2 are really close enough to make anything happen, and McClendon's going to go deep into 1 and 2, and he's going to cross through that dirty air. That's going to wash that 51 car up the track, and Crothers and Gresh both into the fence. Well, he won a race at Talladega that neither of us remember, but it was here on PTR TV. And Jeremy Brown, even though his race started quite poorly with an early wreck, not of his own doing, he recovered, he persevered, and he's going to come off turn number 4. The Elite Designs Chevrolet Camaro is going to run an elite performance, and it's going to win here at Auto Club.
What a great win here as the gaggle of the field wraps their way through across the finish line. But for Jeremy Brown, it's done. It's dusted. He did the defense he needed for McClendon. He started on pole, and I think a couple more laps, McClendon maybe could have figured it out and gotten past. He tried, and Jeremy Brown, 21 laps led the last lap. That's the most important lap. I mean, you got to give a shout out to Ty Bass, who ran so long at the front of the field, but unfortunately that speeding and pits penalty knocked his race out.
Exactly that. Self-induced mistakes are always the worst ones. You can't blame anyone except yourself. Can't blame a glitch. Can't blame a league admin on a call. Can't blame anything. Just, humans aren't perfect, and Jeremy Brown's not perfect, but he ran the best race you could ask for, given what he had to drive through, given what he had to deal with. And is he going to burn anything down, do any donuts or any celebratory activities? Of course he is. He's going to go light them down here and enjoy that Elite Design Chevy Camaro. Nice ride by Jeremy Brown as he's going to burn it down here at the Auto Club Speedway. But while he does that, let's go and start our post-race show, give you the final rundown of results here today from Auto Club in the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170.
And while he burns the tires off the thing, celebrates it out, Jeremy Brown, your winner. Steve McClendon just right there in the end. Keaton Crothers, P3, and Kyle Gresh able to get 4th place. The Popeyes car, Ben Harkin, P5. Dominic Zanobi, a respectable 6th place, and Chad Baer was able to bear it up into 7th. Joshua Corner was in P8. Sean Bradley, our race sponsor here for the C-Vue 170, into P9. And Keith Handlin, don't think we said his name all night, but he finished out in P10.
I don't think we did, but worthwhile run for him nonetheless. Zachary Durney, your EOR guy, best run he's had in an oval in this series. He's in 11th with Kyle Dewey in 12th. Matthew Epton, the Pokemon car, 13th. Ward Fisher went from cataclysmic wreck to 14th spot. Brad Kress, remember he had that pit road. He broke his own ankles and spun himself out, but he gets a 15th. Deal, the Wooster, Hopkins, Harmon, and Emmert, the broken ice cream cone, finished in 20th.
Kicking out the rest of the field here. Daniel Williams, 21. Ty Bass, again, heartbroken for a P22. Donald Ristow, Dylan Freeman, Michael Seymour, 25th. Derek Kapp meows his way to 26. Jeff Slaughter in P27 with that wheel failure. John Kriegler, P28. Jason Benson, 29th. Curtis Mitchell, 30th. And I'll tell you what, Corey, I'll round out the field here for you. Alex Squire, Tyler Ruliellis, Matthew Alacoa, Jacob Bettis, Brian Cooper, Mark Durrell, Vince Mitchell, and Adam Shaw, the 38 cars that took on this race here today.
Absolutely, and we ended up finishing with, roughly 34, 33, well, around 30 finished this race on the lead lap, which is an impressive stat nonetheless. But let's go down and find our race winner here. And Mr. Jeremy Brown. Jeremy, so you told us in chat already a couple weeks ago, we can't remember when you won last on air. When did you last win with us on air?
So last on air, I think, was Michigan here in Triple Bypass. It's either here or Talladega in the area.
All right.
They were all kind of real close together.
All right. Well, either way, win number 3 on PTR TV, and you get it done, and you beat the back-to-back champion Steve McClendon. He made some good surges, but you also had a really rough start to the race. Kind of talk about how things started for you in some of those opening lap restarts.
Yeah, I'm not real sure if the guy below me spun his tires or what, but anyway, it pinned me up against the wall, and I came around, and I didn't want to take my fast repair right away, so I fixed what I could of the damage. It was a little over 7 minutes, and so I just hung on to it until the end of the stage break, and once the stage break came, I took the fast repair and tried to make my way back up through the field, and that caution couldn't have felt better from me because I was just getting on the pit road when it flew, and the leaders had to come all the way back around, so which allowed me to make my pit stop and still come back out with the lead.
A complete perfect situation for you. And then, as I said, you had to beat the back-to-back series champion there just behind you, Steve McClendon. He made a couple charges, but in the end, you ended up getting about by a half second. Just going to talk about that battle and what the heat you were feeling from him from the back mirror.
Yeah, I really I didn't want to give him the top, but I wanted to run. I felt more comfortable running low, and he kept making charges, later on in the run, and so I wound up having to run the top in 1 and 2, and I could see that really hurt his momentum on the backstretch. I could still run low in 3 and 4 and hold my own. He wasn't really making a lot of ground on me in 3 and 4, but he was destroying me in 1 and 2 until I moved up. So once I realized that I could do that and it hurt his exit, then I felt fairly comfortable. Then I was super worried about him when I saw that he was going to start behind me on that last restart, because he's good in these things.
Yeah, welcome to the world of next-gen aero blocking. Gotta love it, but especially you gotta love it when it works in your favor, man, as it did here today. Any final words before we let you go?
Yeah, I just appreciate you guys for putting on a great show every week. And I'm not real sure who tonight's sponsor was, but I appreciate him and Tex Nichols for sponsoring the league, and also Elite Designs and Elite Motorsports that got those guys their 300th win earlier this week in Rockingham, and I guess this is number 301. So I appreciate those guys for keeping me in fresh paints and a nice ride.
Absolutely the case, man, and we'll see what they provide for you next week at Bristol. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, man. Y'all have a good week.
Too. Now, Brad, we will give you our runner-up here today, our Season 8 champion, Mr. Steve McClendon.
Steve, man, tell you what, it was a hard-fought race. Started on pole, finished in second, but that doesn't tell the whole story, man. You were up, down, all the way around the field. Talk us through this race.
Yeah, just one of those nights, man, where you feel like you're going to do great and something dumb happens, and then you just got to battle the rest of the way through. Got lucky. I mean, I think we still would have got them in the caution cycle. We were set up there to get 2 tires, just a little bit of fuel, if it had gone green, and then getting them all trapped a lap down. That really obviously helped him come in and get 4. So after that, it was just really trying to get past Jeremy on a restart or something, but those single file starts kind of killed me there. So, I mean, it is what it is. An aero in this car, like, I feel like I was faster than him. I just couldn't get past him. So I guess they got that modeled right in the sim.
Yeah, man, it definitely seemed like you were there, but you just couldn't close that extra bit of a gap. We always say it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, but clearly that's how you were feeling in the car.
Yeah, I mean, that's held true with just about every car we've ever raced forever, but it's not even another thing to pass him. It's just damn near impossible. Like, he has to make a mistake, and he didn't. He did a great job. He made all the right moves, and we were kind of playing games there, I think, towards the end, where he'd try to go high, I'd go low, and I just guessed wrong a few times. Or he guessed right, really, more than anything. And, hey, it is what it is. It's the nature of this car. Still a good race, though. Had fun.
Absolutely, man. Looking ahead next week to Bristol. How are you feeling about that night race coming up next week? And where do you think that number 51 is going to end up when it's all said and done?
Well, I hope it's going to end up P1, but last time we were there, I wasn't super great. I think we had like a top 5 to 10 run. So, I mean, I feel okay. I'd love to win it, but we're actually going to be up there for the real race on Friday and Saturday. So I'm not going to get a whole lot of practice in when we're driving back home on Sunday. So be coming in there hot Sunday night, but we'll jump in and see what we can do.
Awesome, Steve, man. Well, as always, it's great to talk to you. I know P2 isn't maybe what you wanted. You felt like you were P1 pace, but hey, P2 is still a good result. Congratulations, man. And we'll see how you do next week at Bristol.
All right. Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my wife. She's had to handle our little boy by herself all weekend. So I just got home this afternoon, jumped in the car. So I appreciate her letting me do what I do. Y'all have a great week, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. See you.
And And Corey, that'll put you with our P3 driver of Keaton Crothers.
All right, Keaton, a solid run for you. And as the case with most everyone here today, I think everyone went up and down the grid about 3 or 4 times here today, evading incidents and repairing damage and just trying to find some clean running room here today. You ended up on the podium. Kind of summarize your race for us.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's a tough place to pass, but yeah, as you said, we were just trying to kind of just hanging on, trying to survive there for a bit. But yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah, we saw turn 2 really be the trouble spot. I think of the 7 cautions we had, well, 6 were for cause, but I'd say at least 4 of them were coming off turn number 2. Did you have any kind of issues that you had to navigate or learn any strategy of how to get through that corner without, having that little hospital snap?
As low, if you went low, it was tough. You had to be really easy coming out of the corner there. But if you stayed up high, you could really floor it and not worry too much about it. So that's why I ended up staying high through 1 and 2 for most of it there.
Absolutely, and it worked out in your favor. And if we look ahead to next week, we go from a 2-mile track, and we came from Daytona prior to that. Now we're heading back to a short track, heading to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. What's your confidence level at Bristol for next week's race?
What's the lowest on the scale that you have? Whatever that is.
Negative 76.
That's it.
So are you just not a short track guy by nature, or is it always just bite you any way that it can bite you?
I actually don't mind the short tracks, but I've not done many laps at Bristol, and I just don't. Not feeling super confident, but we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll be all right.
All right. Well, a lot of times when we talk to people, they underestimate their abilities and have a better run than predicted. So we'll see if that's the case, man. But you got a podium here today, and we'll keep watching you.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
All right, so that'll wrap things up here today, Brad, from Auto Club. A race that had a mini caution, but still finished in a reasonable amount of time. And Jeremy Brown getting himself another win here on the season. Well, in his tenure, not on the season, but in his tenure.
Yeah, Jeremy Brown, very deserved win there. He raced it hard, and I think Steve said it best. It was just, he played the cards right, did everything right, and, Steve definitely felt like he was the faster car, but in the end, Jeremy Brown was able to pin things through, and I have a feeling going next week, especially if Steve is coming back from the real race, he's going to be feeling pretty good next week, so I always love Bristol. I'm very glad to actually get to cover Bristol here for once. I missed the last Bristol race on PTR TV.
Yeah, Bristol is always a fun one. A track that was also recently renovated too, so it looks pretty and it races, well, as Bristol tends to do. But make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, have some fun, and help us out on our mission to 1,900 subscribers. Special shout out again to Sean Bradley for the C-Vue Worldwide Radio 170. Check out the link in the description. And then stay tuned for our next broadcast. It will be on Wednesday. Brad will be out with the Elbows Out guys covering that. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out for tonight. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.